So today we're going to be recording an acoustic guitar into FL Studio. We're going to be using two microphones, and they're going to be plugged into input 1 and input 2 so that we can pan them in a stereo field. We're probably going to be using Easy Drummer 3 as well to keep track of our tempo. And at the end we may add easy bass, or just for songwriting purposes. Normally I would play an actual bass guitar in my tracks, but this is just a tutorial about how to record acoustic guitars. Okay, let's get started. So I have an FL Studio template here that has Easy Drummer already embedded into it. So let's take pattern 1 and drag it out for an infinite amount of time. And this will be our timekeeper for the length of the arrangement. Our acoustic guitar is going to be recorded by two microphones, two really cheap Samson condenser microphones that I got off of Amazon for like $35. So it'll be interesting to see how that sounds. We're going to be plugging the microphone straight into the Focusrite audio interface, like that. It's a Focusrite 2i2. So let's take a walk back and we'll look at the recording area. Right now we're up in my attic, and this is where my wife and I store all of our junk. And so there's a whole bunch of junk up here, and I've covered a lot of it with blankets and tried to make a dead space up here where I could record acoustic guitars or vocals. And this is my Yamaha LS16M. Okay, back to the desktop. So as you can see, my mixer has a whole bunch of channels already dedicated to Easy Drummer 3. I've got a bass guitar track and a synth track dedicated, but I have all these tracks over here. So I'm just going to highlight some random track, maybe number 25. And then next I'll come over here to the drop-down list and select input 1 and come over here and highlight track 26 and select input 2. What that's going to do is that's going to put each of the microphones into different recording tracks. Let's go ahead and hit Control Shift and select both of these. If you don't have both of these selected, whenever you hit the record button in FL Studio, it'll give you an error like this. If you try and record without these two tracks being highlighted like this, if you click off like this and you hit the record button into the playlist, FL Studio is going to give you an error. So make sure that these two tracks are highlighted before you hit the record button. Now let's right-click on the record button and make sure that audio only is selected. This highlighted button over here is our count-in. If you right-click it, it gives you either a 1-bar option or a 2-bar options. 1 bar, of course, is a 4 count, and 2 bars is an 8 count on the metronome. I like lots of time, and it's going to take me a lot of time to get back there, so I always select the 2-bar option. Let's click back and hit the record button into the playlist and start recording. Okay, let's hit the space bar and see what we got. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is Control left click and select all of these, then bring the volume up a little bit. Okay, let's shorten it up. Now let's start from the beginning and see what it sounds like. Okay, that's a pretty good take. Let's double-click this track and route it to track 13. And double-click this track and route it to number 14. Right-click to rename. Guitar left. and guitar right. Now let's pan these hard left and hard right, and we'll see if we get a better sound. Okay, so there you go. What we really need to do is mixing and adding effects. Maybe add a bass guitar. But mixing and mastering is a whole nother video, and we'll do that again some other time. I hope this video was helpful. I hope you learned something. Thank you for watching, and most importantly of all, keep recording. Thank you.